Hello and welcome to Shir on Ois Yud Daled in the Maimer Heichaltzu. Hope you're well. It is quite a fascinating Ois, and we're going to do it together. It follows the previous two Oisias. If you remember on Ois Yud Beis and Ois Yud Gimel, the Rebbe Hashem seemed to have gone on a tangent talking about different ways of serving Hashem. Yud Beis, chapter 12, was all about serving Hashem through joy and the meditations that lead to joy. And the second one, Ois Yud Gimel, chapter 13, was how to serve Hashem through humility and the various meditations that leads one to humility. In either ones of the serving of Hashem, there is room for there to be yeshus, which is self-important, and gasus, which is coarseness, thickness. In other words, it can lead to not necessarily the greatest character traits. Why? In the option number one, which is serving Hashem through simcha from chapter 12, there definitely has room for yeshus, for taking up space, for it to make my identity take up more space. Shu yesh mi shoyev. The famous expression that says that yesh mi shoyev, that means somebody who loves, I love you. So there's an I love you. My love doesn't make me lose myself and maybe makes me get closer to you, but ultimately and I have pleasure from it, I love you. Because the joy and excitement is consciously felt within the person. So too, the love, the haratzui, and the passion, the wanting, the yearning for Hashem, it's simply to fill one's own desire and will. The person wants to be close and clinging to Hashem, to the infinite light of Hashem. So must be I want to be part of you. That means that there's room for self-love and self-consciousness in this, are still here in this relationship. I have a pleasure in expressing my love, but that my own pleasure means I exist and I'm self-aware, like it says elsewhere. This whole idea of yesh mishayev is quoted many times in Chassidus. And a person needs to devise and come up with interesting ideas. So he says, listen, I just pointed out that you're supposed to serve Hashem with simcha. Then I pointed out that it leads to yeshes. So a person needs to think, how it's possible to have simcha and ava and still remain bittul. That was the avodah of Aaron the Kohen Gadol that had simcha and bittul. Aaron the Kohen Gadol, who lit the lights of the menorah, what was the intention, what was the kavanah of that avodah of serving Hashem by lighting candles? To draw down the attribute of chachma into midas, into emotions. Why? So that the emotional attributes should have the bittul that comes from chachma. So chachma, we already spoke earlier in this mimer, is koyach ma. It's nothing. It has a lack of feeling of self-importance. It's bittul. You bring chachma into midas, you download from the meichem, from the intelligence, from the humility part of intelligence, into the midas, and now the emotions, including avas Hashem, loving of Hashem, now become emotive, become bittul. The Inyan who, what does that mean? That bittul mitzad ratzon elyon. The core of the idea is that bittul, self non-importance, not nullification, that's a funny word, but not taking yourself too seriously comes as a result of being exposed to a higher light. Because, as we explained earlier, that when somebody meditates on the greatness, the exaltedness, and the wondrous nature of Hashem, The Hashem's light shines within their soul. And that light, if you cling to that level of light, it will bring bittul in a person's neshama. However, the person meditating, the one who will receive the light, has to first make themselves a keli, a vessel that they can still stay bittul. When a person has prepared himself with the intent to experience the delight, the thrill, the exaltedness of Hashem, then a person's soul will be aroused in joy canals, we mentioned. But what do we do about the ego? To prevent the yeshus from overriding the bittul, you have to have another preparation. The recipient must first prepare himself to sense Hashem's light the way it is, not the way it's going to make me feel. No one's asking you how you're going to feel. The bittul is, are you going to let the light do its job and let the light shine? And that's the passion, not how it makes me feel. And if a person has that kavanah, that's not just I want to have pleasure. I would love to see the revelation of Hashem. No. To sense the light the way it is. Then the light will cause the bittul. And after that, when you actually do feel the pleasure, and you do feel the good feeling that comes with awareness of Hashem, and you're aroused with joy and love, the person will be permeated with a sense of bittul and a sense of bittul. Now, just earlier we mentioned that Avodas Aaron Kohen Gadol was to bring Chachma into Midas. Because we know that Shemen, light, is Chachma, and the 7 sticks of the menorah are 7 Midas. So the point is, you bring the light of Shemen, of bittul, into the menorah. What's more, not only what I told you till now, that the first level of serving Hashem, simcha, can lead to ego. And then I gave you a recipe of a idea, a meditation, how to make sure it doesn't happen. But I'll say even more so. The second level that we spoke in chapter 13 also can lead to ego. The avodah of humility can lead to problems. Even the second approach, that of humility, even though generally it involves negation, removal of one's self-importance. Nevertheless, it could still come with yeshus, taking up space. It's the fact that the person still is conscious of themselves and their feelings, even while they're feeling bitter and humble, even when they're really broken about their level of Hashem compared to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the way we're supposed to serve Hashem, as we spoke last time, that even the service of Moshe Rabbeinu is not good enough. I still feel myself. I feel bitter. The other place, I feel love. Over here, I feel bitter. As a result, the humility is not the ultimate. It's not genuine at the ultimate level. Why? Because if we define yeshus as taking up space, self-awareness, in other words, I exist, then I am bitter. Why? Because the ultimate goal is liyos ba'ayin ve'efes mamish, to literally be nothing. Garnish mit garnish. Die Zerbrochenkeit is nicht kein amitis. And over here he says in Yiddish, the breakingness, the Zerbrochenkeit, the brokenness is not ultimately true. Soll sein bei sich gar nicht beemes. A person has to reach a level that they feel like garnished with truth, absolutely true. To lose one's self-concern, to lose one's importance in ganzen, totally. As we spoke about the previous chapter, those meditations should lead you to lose yourself entirely. The problem is that meditation that we spoke earlier is not affecting you in the core of your neshama. It's not going as deep as it is. If it really affected us, Sagt der Rebbe, if it really affected us in the pneumonia, stick away. You would totally lose ourselves. And we would be absolutely nothing. But when it doesn't matter to me, and therefore my humility is not complete. And more so, it's possible to be it could be that such a person, in the depths of their soul, there's a secret pride and joy. You know how I'm a garnished, the famous story about the two guys sitting in the yeshiva, I'm a garnished. And the guy walks in from the back, and he sees two Bnei Torah saying, Ich bin a garnished, I'm a nothing. So he joins the fun. Anyways, the two guys suddenly start hearing that their voice is being echoed in the back. So they look back and they say, who's you? Him. Look who thinks he's a garnished. To be a nothing, you have to be a level like us. So basically, you take yourself out and say, I'm so bittul. The famous story that one time in a shul, they said that the next Hakafa on Simchas Torah is going to go to the most humble person in the shul. And guess what? There was a stampede. Who's the most humble person? Me, it's all me. The person can feel great from the bitterness in the kind of level. I even cried when I thought about the level that I'm at. And it feels good, huh? Yeah, it feels good. That's good, wonderful. What do you mean I'm a servant of the Eibishter? And although these feelings are subconscious, hidden within the soul, and who's talking about when they're conscious? He's saying he's giving us the benefit of the doubt that it's subconscious. It emanates from the essential yeshus, which remains intact. It throws an undermining in everything. It literally knocks out, it undermines the totality of the service. It's a word from the Gemara in Chulin that means the decay has spread throughout it. Rotten. It's over. Tichla means decay. It's over. It's kaput. Why does it undermine the whole thing? Because what was the whole goal of the bitterness? To accomplish incredible positive results within my neshama, leading me to a refinement of my midas, to become a nicer person. And that the Torah mitzvah should be in me the way it's supposed to be. This is the reason that even though a person's Oved Hashem, that nevertheless, because the avodah is not done in the level of bittul, but rather in the level of yesh, I take up space, like I feel myself. It causes me to not necessarily be batel. So basically, what did we do in the last 2.5 chapters? We spoke about serving Hashem b'simcha. Spoke about serving Hashem through bittul. We spoke about how both these avodas still come to Hagashas Atzmai. I still feel myself. What's the punchline? Back to Heichaltzu. Now we go straight back in. And it's for this reason, as if the Rebbe Hashem didn't go on a tangent, he goes straight back in. And it's for this reason you can't tolerate your friend. Because, look at the guy on the left, look at the guy on the right. Also, he holds somewhere in Avodah. Since they're more concerned with their own identity than with the service of Hashem, a person could feel challenged by another person because I take myself seriously. So if you and you are Hashem also, so you're taking away a bit of my space. I thought I could expand in the whole room, and now there's two other guys that's serving Hashem, and they're also taking up space. The chairs behind me are full. The truth is that just like the chairs behind me is an imagination, because all this is just a green screen, so too our own mishigasim with other people taking from our space is the same nonsense. Yeah. And therefore, Pasha cannot tolerate the person, can't connect to them. They hate him. They try to exaggerate and publicly expose the other person's lowliness. And how the other person's not good. Just like, it's hurting. It hurts to say these words. It hurts. Because it's so true. Now that guy's a loser. We downgrade that guy. So he's not a makusha. He's not a this. So he does it all for the wrong reasons. Who are you? That cannot piece of nothing. Embarrassment to the human race. If the Alter Rebbe had you in mind, he would create a whole different chassidus. Like whatever, like I'm Mishigasim, what we tell ourselves about other people. Denigrate. Because we don't want to be considered comparable. We don't want to say Yankel and David are both chassidim. You're putting me in the same sentence? Bist den ganzen Tag up von Sinnen? You out of your mind? Different level. And how much more so when you make him superior to me? He says even more so, even when it doesn't affect the other person. Even others will not compare. There's no one's even talking about it. No one's walking over you saying, Levi, Yankel, he's better than you. He's the same. No one knows Yankel, no one knows Levi. No one's putting the two together. Oh, Yiskadalov, no one's going to think he's greater than you. It's pasha because of my taking up space that I have no room for you. Hate him, embarrass him. And can't talk to the man in peace, and to bond with him. Ouch. With that, how much more worse does it get when I see that my friend Taka has a talent I don't have? Or Taka worked on himself in a place that I didn't work on myself. The Taka better. Not better, I'm saying they Taka, they're a higher level than me. Yeah, they're higher up the mountain. Whether they have a higher IQ. Oh, yes, is a hidus, a plishus, you say there's a type, or it's not something that they were born with, but something that they took on. Vigilance, piety, purity, etc. Yeah, this guy goes to mikveh every single day, and the shloisha plakim Rambam, and he's makusha, the Rebbe, and everything. Yeah, but they'll get angry and enraged and infuriated. I can't bear the other person. And such hatred is compounded by envy. Regarding the pasuk that says that envy is as cruel as the grave, or even worse, as cruel as hell. So, and envy is included in the category of baseless hatred. It's not hatred with an excuse. You thought you're going to sit there upgrading your hatred. Saying, I hate, but it's not sinas chinam. Sorry. Why is it chinam? Because the guy did nothing to you. Didn't take anything, garnished. Where the guy's doing his own thing. He's doing him or her is serving Hashem in their own way. Lost him up. He has nothing to do with you. How did that person's accomplishments suddenly become a threat to you? But you could do the same thing. Well, not necessarily about intelligence, but you could work hard. The other person's not holding back. It's not as if Hashem gave it a certain percentage of intelligence, and because that person's IQ is 140, so Nebuch, you were downgraded to 80. It's not like that. No one's holding you back. There's no basis to have bad feelings. That was jealousy regarding somebody's spiritual achievements, avodas Hashem. Again, gam akina b'gashmis. The same applies to a jealousy regarding the material matters. Lo yisachmoi, the 10th of the 10 Commandments. Eshes le'echa v'abdei v'chamasei v'shoyle l'chola shel le'echa. Shemekane b'atzlacha sev'le'vashe. The person envies the other person's success and wealth. The wealthy man didn't take anything from you. It doesn't belong to you. Birchas Hashem yitasher. It's the bracha of Hashem that made the person wealthy. Ukidu the sida machmas kina ein le lo takana. He says it is well known in the words of our Chachamim, from Kad HaChachma, says, hate born of envy has no correction. There's no way to fix it. So when you take envy and you compound it with yeshus, pashut irredeemable. There's an ein garnished bus satanits. And that's why people will literally destroy each other. There's no takana, because once a person goes down the self-righteous path and they're mixing kina and sinna, it's over. What a nice, harsh. True. What's the summary? Even though a person involved in avodas Hashem, nevertheless, there could still be ego and self-importance by serving Hashem through simcha, and we gave advice. And there's yeshus avodah b'shiflus. There's also ego in serving Hashem. Humble v'hasibel, and we gave a reason for such a thing. Hayeshus goyrem es sin of a kina. We finished off with the idea that yeshus causes sinna and kina, hatred and jealousy. Ein la takana. There's no fixing. Friends, I'm recording this mamash in the 9 days. 9 days. Kina or sinna. Even worse. Boy, it's worse. Let's be honest. Can we really be happy for one another's success instead of being jealous? Because if you remove all ounce of jealousy, a big amount of sinna would disappear. It's a good time of the year to do it, I think. L'chaim.